Zane could feel the poems, taking form, shaping things. As he experimented, he imagined he could almost feel the power surging through the keys of the typewriter. It exhilarated him. But there was fear, too. If not for his young assistant, Emil, he would have
we
given
have
it
seen
up.
this one before.
But Emil convinced him otherwise.
These were two different play
He too went away
sessions.
with words. Hartman kept talking, giving Barry the grand tour, clearly proud of the place. He went on and on about his hunting trophies, and Barry was impressed. But he was here on business. He raised his voice, cut through the monologue. "Hey, Hartman, where's Al?" Hartman stopped in mid-sentence, annoyed at the interruption. He nodded at the hulking orderly standing nearby. The man smiled and clapped a practiced hand on Barry's shoulder.
Like the Vulcan shoulder.
Yeah.
Vulcan shoulder.
Shoulder grip.
That wasn't
Yeah,
Hartman.
exactly, yeah.
The crazy old fart hit her hard. If she was one of Hartman's goons, she had it coming. I could get the key to the office wing from Sinclair. I had to get to Hartman's office. He had taken all my manuscript pages. That's where he'd been keeping them.
Maybe you could come out and beat our wrinkled, adult diapered asses for us, since you're so tough, Birch.
Birch wears turquoise pants. How can he be tough at all?
Wait until you see his pink undies.
Yeah, it's like a contradiction in itself. Being tough and wearing turquoise pants. I mean, I would be wearing turquoise pants, but I'm not tough.
Caught my attention. In it, the clinic staff was standing outside the lodge. I knew the man next to Hartman. He was the kidnapper. Hartman had been playing me all along.
Yeah, I mean, Alan is still not realizing anything.
Oh, by the way,
he's just confused. Oh, wolf.
Look at these pictures and enjoy them. I really love every
evil.
one of them.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they are really great. I would hang each one of them in my room.
The markings on the tape said they were recordings Hartman had made at the sessions with his patients.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Oh, and that looks good.
Yeah, they all look really good, I think.
That's really cool, yeah.
I don't know who the artist was. If I had more than 3 hours to prepare while editing for today, I would have looked it up, but I honestly forgot.
Hartman wasn't happy. Maude could see it in his eyes. He quickly lowered his own. He had made a mess of it, and he knew it. The shame of failure was hard to bear. He hadn't expected Wake to say he needed more time, and he blurted out 2 days, less than Wake had asked for, to show him who was in charge. But that wasn't part of Hartman's plan.
Hartman is the doctor, right?
Exactly, and Maude is the kidnapper.
Yeah, but so you have the old lady.
Oh, this is really interesting, by the way.
He's more and more out of control all the time. The parties, he's so angry all the time. He's getting violent.
Do you mean with you?
No, not with me. No, never. Sometimes I almost wish Alan would take a swing at me, because at least that'd lead to a conversation he couldn't just march out of. But no. Alan doesn't really sleep. And the work, well, he's not writing at all. He sits there for hours and just gets more and more frustrated. And I can't talk to him.
Yes. Tell me, Mrs. Wake. What would you say to him if he'd listen?
I don't know. I want to say, I look at you, and it's not you. Just some stranger who resembles you. Looking out from behind your eyes. And I don't like that guy much. And now it's all gonna go to hell.
But you don't ever say this.
No. I've tried, but he's not listening. He's too deep in his own problems, always going on about something else. I'm so afraid I'm gonna lose him, and we're not even talking anymore. He doesn't let me in anymore. He just keeps me in the dark. I'm so alone here, even when he's home. Please help me, Doctor, because I'm at my wit's end.
Well, if you can just get him here, I'll absolutely do my very best.
Yeah, but Doctor, you need to be careful with him. He's not just going to listen to you and cooperate. He's the most stubborn man I've ever met.
Well, I'll be sure to bear that in mind.
Hearing her voice, what she was saying made me happy and sick and guilty all at once. Worst of all, I recognized the words. The phone call from her. It had been a cut-up of this. Just a recording.
Rudolph Lane's case is interesting. He was completely blocked, and frankly, I was about to discard him as useless. However, once Wake arrived and started writing, something changed in Rudolph. He's producing extraordinary work, increasingly dark pieces. Unfortunately, he doesn't respond to direction at all, and it's my belief that he's not so much a creator as an illustrator, perhaps, a recorder of sorts. I hadn't considered the existence of such a role before, let alone its implications, but the paintings he has produced are informative. At least he's easily controlled and useful. I wish I could say the same about Wake. It's frustrating that the best subjects are always so damn difficult to deal with.
I'm buying that. I was tailing Wheeler, and this is the only place he could have gone. That means Wake is probably there too!
Agent Nightingale, this is private property, and I will not allow you to disturb my patients.
Yeah? I can get a warrant. How would your fragile little patients like that?
Oh, I'm thoroughly intimidated by your mighty authority now, Agent.
Listen, you smug snob. How would you like it if I busted through this gate and knocked you around a little?
Agent Nightingale, first of all, I'm recording this conversation, so you might want to watch what you say. Secondly, you're not dealing with a hick now. I know the law, and if you can get a judge to grant a warrant, I'll be glad to cooperate. But you won't get one. Be advised that any further communications with me are to be made through my lawyer.
I don't believe this.
Good day, Agent.
Yeah.
The recording of Alice's phone call was used and cut, edited together to seem like it's been a phone call to us from the kidnapper.
We need to get to
You know, when
Hartman's
she
office.
called us?
Yeah.
Right next
Okay.
In episode 3, in the middle of episode 3.
I mean, no.
Yeah, but
The
I actually
cops
have
found
to
me a
say
Rose's
that
trailer, but they didn't
everything
hassle
I
me too
saw
much.
now,
I'm obviously a victim in this, and I demanded to be treated as such. Or else I'd sue their asses. Speaking of asses, that Fed gave me a real hard time, but I had no clue where you were. That guy's crazy, Al. But he let me go, and then I get a call from Hartman, that son of a bitch, who tells me you're here and I should come pick you up, but when I got here, 2 goons clobbered me and stuck me in there.
What's with the cutout?
I stole it from the diner to piss off Rose after what she did to us. That'll teach her.
Yeah, that's a harsh punishment. Come on, pal, we gotta get going.
but I think the phone call from Alice,
Yeah.
it does support my theory.
You mean to Hartman or...
These were all the pages
Yeah.
I had on me. And more.
It does, yeah. Everything else
Everything.
up until now could support your theory still. Definitely.
Alan, please. You're sliding back into the...
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it was worth a shot. Really, Wake, come on. Let's work together on this. You have no idea...
Hartman, shut up! Barry, get out of here. I'll catch up with you. Get a car.
Oh, Al, let's just...
Go!
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake. Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful. With your ability and mine.
You know, I like to take this game in a kind of a literal way.
Hartman followed the fall of Alan Wake with his binoculars. When the rider hit the water, he ordered Jack to take the boat to him. The spot was easy to see in the dark, even with all the extra lights in the boat. The flare floated and kept burning even in the water. Jack turned the radio louder as the engine sputtered. The music was rough and clanking, something the Anderson brothers would no doubt have enjoyed. But Hartman chose to ignore it. Wake was finally within his reach.
But to be honest, probably
On me in a moment. I had to find a way out.
your interpretations are just as valid as the actual explanations of Alan regarding his stories, or better said, his encounters and his story at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. But I mean, now again you have a reality...
I needed light to get the possessed bookshelves out of my way.
you have reality breaking up.
Yeah, like a lot of times before, yeah. I'm really bad with all these poltergeist objects.
Hartman knew he was no creator. He had no ambitions on that front. And he certainly didn't want to end up like every artist he had worked with here, damaged in ways that were hard to describe, or worse. It was enough for Hartman to maintain creative control and provide direction. To be a producer. That was what most of these people were in need of anyway. Of course, suitable subjects were few and far in between.
BoobTube, yeah. Yeah, some really strange advertisements. I don't know what they are getting at, to be honest. Right in the midst of this chaos. I'd be interested in what the symbols mean.
Want access to thousands of applications? Verizon Wireless has you covered. Check out the latest games. Discover new music and old favorites. Social networking, sports scores, news. It's all at your fingertips. No matter what you're into, Verizon Wireless can satisfy your never-ending appetite for apps. Check out VCast apps and load up your phone.
Yeah, but isn't this kind of a metaphor? When we're sitting in front of the screen, seeing something really surreal and dreamlike, and in the game we're looking into a TV where you have something as common and realistic as TV commercials.
Yeah. I mean it's commercials are in my opinion not really.
No, it's like an
it's not a sign for realism, but it's definitely something like an anchor for reality, because reality is so fucked up that you have to watch.
Yeah.
If you want to watch TV, you have to watch these really fucked up and surreal commercials all the time.
Yeah. But that's actually one way to see it, and the other way is if you ever watch a movie on TV. You're like really into the movie, what is happening, and then you have the commercials and you're like drawn back into like the common world. I mean,
yeah.
I found the car, but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there.
Barry, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al. Oh, God! Look at the house, Al!
Oh my god, I hate the hedge maze.
The hedge maze is actually like a Shining reference.
Yeah, it is. You remember the final scene in Shining?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the first Shining reference, but it's the first one we talk about. And I think it is a Shining reference, yeah. And I hate it because I'm so bad at this. I really cannot remember where I've been walking like 1 minute ago. And what I didn't say before, if the enemies are only vulnerable to the focused flashlight beam, their darkness refreshes if you don't focus your flashlight. If you just point your flashlight at them,
okay.
The darkness gets stronger, you know?
I get it. So if you focus on them and then stop focusing, it
regenerates
goes back.
Yeah, exactly.
Regenerates, yeah.
So you have to continuously focusing and wasting your batteries essentially. But yeah, what's coming up now is my personal agony.
Well, a hedge maze is always like a metaphor for personal
confusion.
Yeah. Well, I think it is.
Yeah, that makes total sense, at least, yeah.
I stared at the Viking paraphernalia that littered the area, surrounding an unlikely centerpiece. A full-size stage complete with an impressive sound system with all the trimmings, including a dragon. It took a special kind of crazy to build something like this in a remote field. When the sky split open with a deafening boom and the music started blasting, it felt strangely appropriate.
You know what I always think? When I ever get into a situation where some things start to get supernatural.
You do get in situations where supernatural things happen.
No, but if I ever would.
Okay, yeah.
That guy looks scary.
Yeah, it's super scary.
Big ass guy.
I hate him. And I hate... These guys are, by the way, called flankers.
Because they get on your sides, or?
Yeah, and I did a little death montage there. The developers called them flankers because they are the only enemies that try to flank you all the time, that try to surround you and get to you from behind. And only them have the sickles, so it's kind of an explanation why the sickle is their weapon, because they are kind of, you know, loose from every other enemy. They are not a specified enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stared at the Viking.
They appear everywhere.
Littered the area, surrounding an unlikely centerpiece.
I actually thought about this. The sickle is actually like a symbol for death.
It took a special kind of crazy
because death himself wears a sickle, right?
You're right, yeah.
Yeah. But okay, yeah, continue. I was just.
It felt strangely.
No, I was just saying that they are a separate enemy from all the other enemies, and they appear everywhere you go. And they are called flankers because they flank you, and you know, if they wear sickles, they probably were working on a field before.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you meet them. So the weapon choice, as we discussed earlier, is well, this is the end of the hedge maze, but I forgot one collectible, so I had to go back. So where we meet them is kind of unimportant, because they appear everywhere. Because we were asking ourselves, why do these guys with sickles appear at the sawmill or something like that,
yeah.
you know? And I hate them, because they hit you kind of hard. I mean, they hit you not hard at all, but it's 2 times, and mostly from behind when you can't see them.
Yeah, and if you have probably like 2 of them, you probably die.
Exactly.
Hartman hurried down the corridor. He had disliked leaving Wake when he was surely at his most susceptible to therapy. But this was not an ordinary storm. Wake had been writing, and he had woken something up in the depths of the lake. Now, it was coming for him. Hartman had naturally prepared for a situation like this. The idiot brothers would keep Wake distracted while Hartman double-checked everything, just to be sure.
And you obviously, which I find is a really good thing, think about this whole story as a metaphor to his psychic state of mind as a writer, or as a, you know, kind of disturbed human being, which I think is great. But the game at this point, if you take it as a literal, you know, guiding point towards the plot, it's telling you that all your fears and all your experiences in this journey were kind of real, at least to you.
Yeah.
And the whole Hartman and Quadrant Lodge thing is a trap to keep you near Hartman, to get him your manuscripts and your creative energy and use you.
Which
on this boss fight is
but that wouldn't explain all the supernatural stuff, would it?
No, it wouldn't. No, you're right.
And
but still, it's kind of a fantasy story. So, as I said, when we were like starting the last part of episode 3, what did I say? You don't want to hear the explanation, you know?
Yeah,
it's a fantasy story.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Of course. But if you read,
and I'm not trying to shut you down.
No,
not at all.
I know.
I really appreciate your input, because I think that's more of the way Sam Lake is going with this writing.
But if you take The Shining, for example,
yeah,
how Stephen King wrote the book.
Mott knew that Wake was smarter than him. Wake had more money, a beautiful wife, everything. And Hartman said Wake was important. That made him better than Mott. But Mott was calling the shots now. He'd expected Wake to whimper and grovel, but instead, he seemed willing to fight. Mott knew he'd gotten under Wake's skin. If only Mott actually had his wife. The thought made him shiver.
I don't care if I seem idiotic here, but I've seen The Shining several times, and I didn't even know it was a Stephen King novel.
Okay, so you actually don't know that. I mean, The Shining, the movie is by Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
And did you actually know that Stephen King said, "I can't identify myself with the movie"?
No, I didn't. No,
he rejected the movie.
No, I didn't.
And this is what I was going after, because
the movie is not really displaying his style of writing.
No, and I think. Okay, this is hard to explain.
But the movie is so great. I'm such a big Kubrick fan.
Well, I think you can take a great story element.
Yeah.
You picked up from a book, and then you can make a great movie out of it.
For the moment,
I think
Barry
actually
was
if
just
you
glad he had survived the fall. He had been separated from Al, and there was no easy way to climb back up. He told himself he'd be okay in the gloomy forest at night. He would just have to wait for a while for Al to find his way down. Barry turned when he heard the heavy footsteps and saw the movement. The man-shaped shadow lunged at him from the bushes, an axe held high. Barry screamed and threw up his hand. The world exploded.
Oh, another pair of cans. Not really a pair, I don't know. Whatever. What were you getting at? The Shining, Stephen King recognition of this film towards, in regards of his novel.
Yeah, because in the book you're not sure of okay, yeah.
By the way, I'm trying to get one achievement here, but I'm not successful. I'm trying to get it since episode 2, I think, to get 2 kills with 1 shotgun shot. But I'm sorry to have interrupted you again.
No, it's okay. Well, as I remember the book, the things that happen, you're not sure in the book as if they actually happen.
Okay.
In the movie, you're like, okay, you have the son and the wife, and they experience these supernatural things.
Yeah.
You see in the movie, and in the book, this is not really clear.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So in the end, you have this impression that he was just insane and he was making everything up.
You mean the main character?
The main character, yeah.
What's his name? Isn't he called Jack also? Like
I think he is, yeah.
Like the actor, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay,
actually,
this is an interesting
features slackened. The man was
layer.
delighted, no doubt. Even lying on the bed, he'd almost broken Hartman's nose the second time. But with a little time, he could break Wake down, give him proper direction. Wake was easily the most promising subject he'd had. Well, since Tom, really. Sleep well, Alan, Hartman whispered with a smile. Let me take care of you. He sniffed hard to clear his throbbing nose, swallowed blood, and barely tasted it.
Well, you know, you said if you don't go on the like a meta level,
yeah,
the story now is pretty straightforward. No,
on the fantasy. On the fantasy story tale.
On a fantasy story tale.
Yeah.
But I think the manuscripts. Why would he find manuscripts which explain what is happening right now?
Okay, yeah. If I told you this, I would be spoilering something.
Okay.
Spoiling.
Yeah.
But still, if I did this spoiler, your theories wouldn't be invalid, to be honest, so yeah. But still, I don't want to tell you why he found these pages. I mean, you should know, actually, by now. Or you could know. It's not that you should know, but you could know.
Well, I mean, you could always think that he doesn't want to accept reality.
I mean, not in a interpretive way, but in a straightforward game reality like it's presented to you way.
Oh, you mean the manuscripts just tell the story, more or less?
Yeah, but that's not the question you were asking. You were asking why does he find them?
But he's writing them.
Yeah, but why does he find them? But yeah, you could know, but it's... I mean, it's also so convoluted and so much, and you are just sinking it in. Oh, and I have to say this, as you can see, there was a...
We're going to the Anderson farm.
I knew you were gonna say something like
The
that.
video's corrupted.
You know what? You owe me big time for this.
I don't know why.
When this is
I'm sorry
through,
for this,
if
yeah.
we make it, I don't care
It
what
is
anybody
corrupted?
says, I'm done with darkness. You're gonna buy me a tanning bed as a gift, and I'm gonna live in it.
Yeah, there was like a jump for 2 seconds where the video wasn't recorded.
Oh,
the audio
okay.
was. So the audio was all the time since, I don't know, 10 minutes into the video was desynced. And I had to sync them.
I'm crazy, but that's fine, Barry.
Oh, you got that right, Al. You're barking mad. You are by far the craziest...
But maybe that's inevitable when you deal with crazy stuff like this. It helps. This is happening, Barry. Alice, they never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead.
Al, how can you know that?
I know, Barry. I can...
Al,
No, listen. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's something special about this place. The lake,
Yeah,
it
I'm
does
still
something to the works of art
going
created
with
here.
the
It makes them come
opinion
true.
that
But there's a catch.
the
dark
characters
presence, whatever
which
that thing
which
is,
Alan
twists it to its own
meets,
ends. That's why
like
all
Barry,
of this
for
is
example,
happening. It's
are so
using my
over the
manuscript
top.
to take over
I mean, the
everything.
characters
I believe
he
you.
meets are
Happened to
just
Thomas
black and
Zane
white.
before, it happened to the Andersons.
I
You know-
believe you. Crazy or not, you're not delusional.
You know, you have
Weird
this
shit's
agent.
going down. That's a fact.
He's
Come
out
on
for
board,
money.
man.
But he
The
actually
Andersons knew about it, but they were
starts
too
to
far
believe his
gone to tell
story
me with all the drugs they were on.
while
But
he
they wrote it
experiences
down. There's a
strange
message
events.
somewhere at their farm, Barry. We just need to
Yeah,
find
He
it.
because-
is there for him, you know, although he
because he-
seems to be there only for the money and stuff.
Yeah, but he clings.
He's not... His acting is kind of over the top, but his character is kind of really mellow and nice and friendly, I think.
God damn it, Al, talk to me.
Yes, but that's, in my opinion, that's just because, you know, you have this writer and he
I
has
lost my gun in the crash.
a
Barry
couple
was
of
nowhere to
people
be
in his
seen.
life which he thinks he can trust, or which
So what do you think? Before you go on with the theory, let's have a short break.
okay, yeah, let's have a break.
It's a good idea because
Barry!
the screen
Barry!
freezes
Screen
on
is
us.
yeah, it's freezing, yeah.
Okay, so let's have a short break. See you soon.